Happy Wednesday. Hang on. Just gotta find my people. Hey Donna. Let's get you up here.
Hey, gorgeous. How
Hey.
was your day? Of course
Fabuloso.
it was. Of course it was.
Nice and sunny, so can't
I
complain.
know. I was outside all day today, on the patio, I should say.
Did you have a few
Yeah, right. Girl, I'm not a big drinker. You're crazy. If that was the case, I would not be on here tonight. I was sleeping. Oh
Right,
my
so
God.
I'm just trying to find Richard. Hey, Cherise. Hey, Tosa. Okay, there he is. Hey, Richard. I'm
Hey,
going to
Richard.
try to add you again. Let's try that one more time. You should see an invitation to join. I'm very excited about today's topic.
Me too, actually.
Oh my God, this is
Me
the name of the
too.
story. Richard, you have to be on your phone. You have to use your phone. Hang on. Okay, so today we're talking about the dating apps. The dating apps. Yes. Please have your
Yeah.
questions, and we hope to have Richard join us.
Hey, Portia, how are you,
Hey,
beloved?
Barbara.
So let's reintroduce ourselves until Richard come here. So Joan and I are the evolved women, unfiltered. So anything
Now I
goes.
understand.
There he is. Hi, Richard.
Hello, Donna. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I am well. I didn't understand I had to be on my phone till last minute. So now I know.
That's
Because it wasn't connected
okay.
on my computer. It's like, no, we're not letting you connect. I'm like,
No,
why?
it won't. You have to
That's
get in the
all
car.
right.
So maybe
Hi, Richard.
I thought maybe Joan blocked me.
Joan.
Yeah. Bark, the lady with the pink glass and the flower in the ear. So what's going on?
We're good. We're good. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
We're good, we're good, we're good.
Yeah, we're so excited to talk about you and the whole dating app and dating out there. So, Joan, was talking about you that you have this app that you created. So,
Yeah.
I'm really curious to know why you created an app. First question, why?
First
Why an
question.
app? Yeah, why?
All right, so I've been serial entrepreneur since basically inception of getting into the career life in 1982, and I've always had a knack of being introduced to businesses that needed something better in the marketplace. This app came to me. I've never used one. I'm a nightclub owner, restaurant operator, health club operator, construction owner, and I watch friends and family and people of in the later years, 40s to 60s, and kids in their 30s and 20s being very frustrated and disheartened by the industry that's out there now. So I really don't call us a dating app. We're more like intentional introductions, like a concept of a dating app, because we do everything completely different. Because when I did a deep dive and researched into that industry, I just saw how much was broken. And the one thing that's clearly not broken, people want to meet, but they don't have a system that's really adequate to bring that together. There's a system that's promoting transactional um, objectification, turning people into products, doing everything that's against our human nature to meet and greet. But the when it first came out, it was probably interesting, exciting, right? They were probably good, but like anything else, they saw a money lane to where if they could take advantage of people, make algorithms that don't work, get people frustrated, but then addicted by the dopamine effect and keep them on there and again pile up their cash flow, which they've done. The five biggest apps out there are in the billions and dollars in revenue based on people's failure. They don't want to see people succeed. They want you. They'll give you the hookup. They'll find that one instant hookup, but they're not going to find you a long-term relationship because they're afraid of losing their cash flow. So it was kind of like, when the taxis were around before Uber. They thought they had it. They thought they had it made. They could do whatever they wanted to do. We own the medallions. We own the street. We're corrupt. And then Uber came around with a better service and a better technology and just kind of replaced them. I don't even know how many people take taxis anymore. So that's
I
what
know.
we're doing now with Authenti is not. I'm not competing against Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, Raya. Let them have their lane. Let them have their life. We're replacing them with a service that's more about authenticity, not about objectification, not about making people feel like they're products. Intentional introductions, bringing people together based on them describing themselves, and rather than performing. When you ask somebody to give a picture of themselves, they're going to filter it. They're going to find one from 10 years ago because in their brain, they're becoming marketers. How can I best present myself? What lighting looks better? Or this one from 10 years ago was so good because I really want to make an impression. It's not that they're intentionally misguiding. It's how we're wired. But then when you have a conversation and you have somebody have to describe themselves today, like, what are you about today? What are you looking for today in yourself? What are you looking for today in a partner? You kind of break through a lot of those barriers and you become more authentic and intentional about what you want and where you want to go with it. And now you're not a product because you're not on there. Like the profile photos and stuff we have, but nobody else gets to see them until we find a match for you based on how you've discussed what you look like and what you're looking for. So we're the app
Ah.
that does the searching for you. And then we come back and say, hey, Donna, Joan, we found all these people that really fit your criteria and you fit their criteria. And there's a percentage that we give. It's called the Spark Reveal. And that percentage is now going to say you guys are 60% aligned, 70% aligned based on your onboarding questions, your conversations, and based on what physicality you are at and what physicality you're looking for. Like what is your type, so to speak. 60 to 70% people in the world today in relationships are with somebody that's not their type. So you go outside of that and you start learning about you. We're kind of like, how do we get people to track from here and not from here? How do we set the mind off and bring the heart into the equation, the energy of the relationship? And then, and only then, now you're now talking, right? And you're having dialogue with these individuals. Now your percentage increases. Then you get to decide, hey, I want to tell Richard my last name, or I want to show Richard a picture of myself outdoors hiking because we've been talking about how much we both enjoy the outdoors. Because you're going into it informed, so it's just not a bunch of photos out there for everybody to judge about you and for you to judge about yourself and you to judge about them. It's the only people who are seeing it are the ones that you're intentionally introduced to. Nobody else gets to see you or anything about you, which comes into play for a lot of reasons, right? You're older. You've never been on a dating app before. You really don't want to go on those other dating apps based on the stigma. You're young and upcoming. You're climbing in the career world. Why should your bosses and coworkers see your profile and everything that's got going on? You're newly divorced and you want to get back into the industry of dating. You want to get back into that marketplace, but you don't want the drama of it from friends and family members. Or, the worst one is the widows. A lot of people are widows out there in young ages, 30s, 40s, 50s, for different reasons, different things. And everybody has a judgment or an opinion of when you go back out into the market too soon, too fast, when you might have had a conversation with your partner about getting back out there because, they were dying of an illness that, they want to see you happy. But then you get I call it you got to disregard the good opinion of others. But with this, you don't have to because you're not even putting your last name in. Nobody even knows who you are until you decide to reveal who you are. You're just going to put in Donna. I'm going to put in Rich. You can put in D. I can put in R. Now, when you get to know them, it's like, this is who I am. So now you're a celebrity. You're somebody, or you're a big hedge funder. You got a lot of
So,
money.
so what's going to be on this app that is going to push me to have that conversation, Richard?
So when
Okay,
you
so they're
first
going to.
on board, you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna describe you. Like, I'm going to go on board, right? I'm going to say, Richard, I'm 61 years old. I could go 50 miles out. I'm 6'3". I'm 210 pounds. I'm athletically fit. I have dark hair. And then you're going to answer. So now I just describe myself physically. I'm looking for this in a woman. Okay, so now I'm describing what I believe is my mate. Then you're going to have your onboarding questions. We have like 5 multiple choice questions, and there are about 10 answers in each about your ideals, your philosophies, your hobbies, your lifestyles, what you want to be, your aspirations, and you're answering the same thing. So now this app is going to put these together. So depending on how you answer them and how that physicality matches. So if I'm looking for somebody who's, between 40 and 60, I'm not getting a 30-year-old. I'm not getting a 70-year-old. If I'm looking for somebody who's 5'6", I'm not getting somebody who's 6 foot, or I'm not getting somebody who's 5'2". We're going to shrink it down. You're going to set it and forget it. We're going to bring you exactly what you described. And then when we bring you, you're only going to get to see a fog blurred out image of me, which is enough to see that I am what I say I am, but not
Okay.
enough to see to where the mind goes into the whole marketing and the picture of what it should be that I'm revealing to you. Then after you get over the 70% criteria, you then have an option as the member of the app to say, now we're going to reveal more. It's called the full reveal. You can now reveal whatever you choose to reveal to that person, whether it's the picture, the last name, your occupation, the things that people are making judgments on first before they get to know you. Now they're going to be able to make a decision after they've gotten to know you. And you know what? It might come out that, maybe my eyebrow's a little bit taller on one side and shorter on the other, but you're not going to care because you now got to know me as an individual. And you're going to say,
Versus
I
what you
can get
look
past that
like.
instead of looking at it like it's a judgment. Or, the hardest picture in the world to take is a selfie, unless you're really talented. And it's the worst picture in the world because it's a one camera lens picture. And this is what everybody's judging on. So,
I know. I love selfies. I think I'm
Exactly. I
gorgeous
love
on
selfies.
selfies.
well, some people have it, some
So,
people don't. But
Richard,
it's like
Richard, I have some questions for
you
you.
look at the industry now. They've made us individuals their products. We're
Mm-hmm.
their milk on the shelf. They are making billions and billions of dollars because just in New York alone, there's 4 million people on dating apps. 4 million. And it's one of the hardest dating industries in the world is New York. It's written about every week. And all those people are objectified. That's about 20 million photos that these people get for free. You're actually paying them to put your pictures on their site for them to make money because now you become their
Yes.
centerfold. You became their products. You became their, it's like, it makes
Mm-hmm.
no sense at all. And they actually, it's been scientifically proven that they've made the algorithm so that it wouldn't work. They've made the algorithm so it's good for the hookup, the transactional, but they want you back on the app. They don't want to lose the $40. And if
Yeah.
you
But I
research the
feel that
industry,
on a lot of these apps too, even when you leave, your pictures are still on these apps. As you
yeah,
said, it's a product, right? So
you're a
people are still
product.
seeing it, assuming that you're still on there, unless you decide that you're literally physically going to go in there and take out all the pictures. But you know what?
But a lot of people come back too, right? They go off. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
then they go like 2 or 3 weeks. It's kind of like you need an apps anonymous. They're addicted to it. They're addicted to the swipe. They go on those 3 or 4 days for the 2 or 3 months. And yep, we're right back on it because they didn't get that relationship criteria that they were looking for out of it.
Okay. So, Richard, two questions. I'm just going to shoot my shot right away. So, you mentioned authenticity, and misalignment is the biggest reason why relationships don't work today. And part of the problem with misalignment is that people put up a false narrative about who they think they are. Most people have no clue about self awareness. They don't know who they are, forget what they want. They don't even know who they are, so they don't know what they want. And so, if the premise of your app is for people to be their authentic selves, and that's not something that people are used to because we've been raised, conditioned to perform. We do that at work, we do that with our friends, we do that all the freaking time. So if somebody brought that performative mindset to the app, how would it solve for that?
Well, because when you're being descriptive, you're not being performative.
Yes, you are.
You're being performative when if I need to sit here and explain to somebody who I am and what I am,
Yeah.
it's easy to do, but if I need to just throw a picture up there, maybe from, my friend's 2 years ago pool party where I look great, where I'm not, because I'm marketing myself. There's two different brain mechanisms that go to play, and this has all been scientifically proven. When you're having somebody in a conversation, it's more challenging for them to bullshit and lie than it is when they're just throwing up a photo that because they need to present their best self. So you have to give a little bit of grace to the humanity side of it, and hope that people will come. And you're going to have those that come, but with the other apps, everybody's on there for free and get to see everybody. With our app, you can't get to see anybody until you agree to be introduced to somebody, and at that point, then you pay. So we kind of prevent those scammers and schemers who want just the freeload, because it's been data pointed that these people who want to, steal identity and do the ghosting and do all the phishing and do all this crazy stuff, they're not going to pay $1. They do so much more for free. Scammers don't put any, even if it's a little 129 bucks like we are. So you
So
can't hold everybody to a rule of thumb that they're not going to be honest about their age, their appearance, their physical condition while they're writing about it. But they will be when they have to show that best photo, that filtered photo, because they feel like they're in a marketing competition to be the best product on somebody else's shelf instead of be their best self for themselves.
I hear you. So I'm a big fan of Love is Blind. I watched every single season from every single country, and it's pretty much the same concept, right? You don't get to see the person, you don't talk about how you look physically. The reason why that is still a flop is because even though people have had these conversations, they've gone on a honeymoon, lived together, people are still pretending. Like they've lived together and they're still pretending. We are wired, or we've been conditioned to pretend, because people are afraid to reveal their true selves for the mere fact that I might not be chosen. If I showed Richard all of who I am and I said to him, I'm a lazy bum, I have no ambition, I just like to eat chocolate and just booze all day, like nobody's going to want me. So of course I'm going to say I'm ambitious, I'm kind, I have no drama, I'm pretty, I'm feminine, I'm this and that, yada, 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 in the hope that Richard will match me with an amazing guy. But then 3 weeks later, he's going to find out that I'm none of those things, and
Well,
here we go again.
I could appreciate the cynicism in there. I like to look at, as I give humans a little bit of benefit of the doubt. Well, that's where, so you get the match,
Mhm.
and now Richard and Joan get to talk. And if Richard can't figure out that Joan's not being her authentic self, and we also have AI kind of, won't say supervisor, but background that pulls parts of the conversation that could pick up the dialect of this has been lying, this is now not being honest and truthful, and we could flag and tell the other member, like, Joan's really not being her authentic self based on the conversation and what she's been doing. She's all over the board. This is not genuine, conversation. This is somebody looking for something who doesn't know what she wants. There's so many preventative measures you could put in there, because if you remember, long before apps existed, how did we meet each other? We met through friends, we met through cousins, we met through neighbors. People introduced you. There was always an introduction. There was always something like, hey, Donna, you and Richard are going to get along really good. Like, you'd be doing the intro. I know you both really well. And we only know so much about each other, because in any relationship, the reality of the relationship is that partner that you're bringing into your life is supposed to bring up things in you that need to be healed for your soul to expand and move on. So you're going to have controversy. You're going to have those challenging points. But if it's a true spiritual partner, they're not going to confront you. They're going to be like, hey, Donna, so we just spilled milk. You're freaking out. What's that all about?
Mhm.
Let's talk about that instead of me. What are you, crazy? Why are you yelling at me? So if you're true and then you're aligned, and you're not going to find that through any test until you're in it. I don't care what we're going through. I don't care what design, what anything, because everybody, no matter what their spiritual essence is, their astrological sign, their designs of what to be, they have history. They have damage. They have wounds.
Mhm.
You're going to find that person, and all that person is telling you, if they could match up and help you heal your wounds, is
Mhm.
they're the person for you.
Mhm.
And if they can't, it does not make them a bad person. It doesn't make them everything, but it doesn't make them a bitch, the asshole, jerk. It doesn't make them any of that. It just means, all right, you're just not for me. But thank you, because you're showing things in me that I need to work on. We've all had relationships that started out like, oh my God, this is awesome. And then just turn into something like, what the heck did I just grow through? Notice we did not go through anything. It's
Mm-hmm.
what did I just grow through? What did this person bring out in me that I needed to see? It's that old thing, right? The reason, the season, and the lifetime. You're
Yeah.
going to find the
Yeah.
reasons.
Why? Yeah.
We have a
Why
lot
did
of
that?
people who are
What?
going to be our reasons, right? And
Yeah.
then we have a
What did
lot of
that
people that are going to
trigger
be those
me?
seasons.
Yeah.
But then we're going to have, like, listen, I was married for 25 years. I consider
What happened?
me and my,
Uh,
what
okay.
happened after 25 years, we kind
No,
of were
no.
not.
We lost your audio for a second.
Oh, you lost my audio? I'm sorry. Something popped
You're
up. It said, do you want to have, I guess responses, I guess the hearts and stuff. It just popped on the
Oh,
screen. Like I got to
Oh,
oh,
okay,
approve.
okay, okay. Yeah, there's a couple people on here that's actually, agreeing with you. And there's a lot of messages in here actually.
I
Elmira
don't
was
see him on
saying,
this side. I wouldn't even know how to see him.
oh, sorry.
I
yeah,
am, and the funny
Elmira
thing
did.
is, so I built this whole app, right? So
Uh-huh.
I'm the guy who built it because I took the app design to an app company, and they said like $250,000 6 months, and I'm like, and I'm not a tech guy at all. I'm a complete brick and mortar entrepreneur, and I
Mm-hmm.
said, no, with the AI world, I got to figure this out.
Figure it out.
And I built
That's
the
what it
whole
is.
thing and then went back to the same dev company because you still need dev guys, right? You still need
Mm-hmm.
them for all the coding and the API, the no code to the soft code to the databases to the everything that Apple wants you to do. Same company for $250,000 was now less than 25,000 in market within 6 weeks.
That's
And now I
crazy.
understand technology, but like I don't understand how to get on live Instagram. I don't understand how to see these messages.
You did
I'm gonna
great.
go right now as I'm talking to you guys. I'm gonna hit my chat GPT. Quick, give me a tutor message. It'll like tune me up. So I actually wrote a book called The AI Thinker. It's a manifesto on how a layman could take AI diet because I work with about 12 different tools from design to website to app interface to build this whole thing and then bring it back to the guys. The same company quoted me $250,000. Like, dude, you built like
Wow.
90% of this thing. How did you learn how to do this? I said, I don't know. I just, 12 hours sitting in front talking to chat. I mean, I did the patent. My last patent cost me $30,000 and took about 6 months. I did the patent, the trademark, and the copyright in less than one day and a landing page, and it cost me $750 all in done.
Wow.
Numbers registered, and it's like
You
I even had to send it to my attorneys, and I'm like, guys, you got to see this. They're like, dude, like you're gonna put us out of business. I said, I'm not gonna put you out of business. I'm gonna accelerate your business. Like the dev company, they're now my dev company. So they got the
mm-hmm.
quick hit, but now they got my monthly maintenance, and then they keep doing improvements. So they look at it big picture, and like they'd rather do that and have 100 guys like me
Yes.
paying them small amounts because now they're making big
Yes.
money instead of
Mm-hmm.
have big accounts that take up a lot of their time.
So
So
I know you mentioned that you're a serial entrepreneur. So this dating app is absolutely new for you because as you said, you're more brick and mortar
yep.
person. So are you a single person looking for something or are you just looking to date in? Because I mean, dating is huge out there. So I'm curious on why
Yes,
a
I
dating app.
because I created my own app to get all these women, and I can see that back end. It's all for me.
It's all
um,
about you.
no, it's I. One thing I get is so you listen to music, right? And you
Absolutely.
hear the music coming out of the radio speaker, and then you go bang the speaker open. The band's not there.
Mm-hmm.
The music is piped into that speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And I just get messages piped into me. And as being a serial entrepreneur, the only difference between me and probably my buddies who are more corporate is I act out on my ideas because, there was I forget the name of the motivational speaker. The most expensive real estate in the world is a cemetery because a lot of people die with their music in them. And I
Absolutely.
got this piped in me. I look at my friends, I see my buddies, who are all very accomplished, financially well off, and have whatever they need, and they're miserable with the whole dating app scene. Then I look at my kids in their 30s, they're miserable with the whole thing. And so, like, none of the other brick and mortars, I never knew anything about them. I just do a deep dive. And then I go in it, and I'm like, wow, this industry is so in need of a better system because the industry is showing me by the amount of people on dating apps, people want to meet. They're hungry for love. They want to connect. But the system that's out there is now broken. Just the
Mm-hmm.
same as when Uber did it to the taxis. Like people were doing taxis and taxis were taking advantage and Uber just scooped in just by a better service.